Good afternoon, dear student. I am Vikram Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce from Mewar University. Today in this class, let's we understand cost of capital. This is our topic for this lecture. These are the contents for regarding this lecture. Concept of cost of capital, features of cost of capital, importance of cost of capital, then overview of computation of cost of capital. Under this, cost of debt capital, cost of preferential capital, cost of equity share capital, cost of return earning, and last, weighted average cost of capital. These content will cover in this lecture. Let's start one by one. Concept of cost of capital. Listen carefully. The cost of capital, it is also called as a cut-off rate, target rate, hurdle rate, or required rate of return. When the firm are using different sources of finance, the finance manager must take careful decision for the cost of capital because it is closely associated with the value of firm and the earning capacity of the firm. So the cost of capital, it is the required rate of return on its investment which belong to equity, debt, return earning. If firm fail to earn return at the expected rate, the market value of the share will fall and it will result in the reduction of overall wealth of the shareholder. Cost of capital, it is the key concept in financial decision making. It is useful from the point of view of both investment as well as financing decision. So it indicates the minimum required rate of return that the various investment proposal should earn. Cost of capital, it is also called as a rate of return. The firm required from investment, example, increase the value of firm in the marketplace. Now, for regarding this, we take one small example. If a firm borrow rupees 10 lakh at an interest rate of 12%, then the cost of capital it is 12%. Here it become necessary for the firm to earn at minimum 1,20,000. It is ROR, return rate of return. Here 12%, according to 12%, we require 1,20,000. If the return is less than this amount, then the rate of dividend the shareholder are receiving will go down with a resultant downflow in its market value. So the cost of capital is rightly called the cut-off rate for capital expenditure. Now, this is all about the conceptual part regarding cost of capital. Now the features of cost of capital. Listen carefully. The cost of capital is not a cost as such. It is just minimum required rate of return which is essential to maintain the market value of equity share. So it is called a hurdle rate. It is made up for three components. This cost of capital made up from three components. One is risk-free rate. Here we mention RF, risk-free rate RF. The second one, premium for taking up risky proposal. It means business risk. For this we mention here B. And last one, premium for employing financial leverage. It means financial risk. That is F. The following equation shows the relationship between the different component. Here we can prepare one equation or one formula for KO, cost of capital, is equal to RF plus B or plus F. RF means risk-free rate, B means business risk, F means financial risk. Now the next, importance. Importance of 1 minute. For regarding importance of capital budgeting, importance of cost of capital, here we have different point. Importance to capital budgeting decision. When we take a decision regarding investment, the cost of capital, it is very important part. When we take decision for investment, we use capital budgeting tools. Under this capital budgeting tools, we evaluate the various investment proposal keeping in mind cost of capital. So it is importance for regarding capital budgeting decision. The next one, importance to structure decision, like capital structure decision. When we frame our capital structure, then we use debt and equity to important terms. So when we arrange finance through different sources of finance, then we have to keep in your mind cost of capital. Maybe we can arrange finance through issuing equity share, preference share. What is the cost of this? And when we arrange finance through debt, like taking loan from bank, loan from financial institution, issuing debenture, then we have to consider cost of capital. Now the next one, importance to evaluation of financial performance. Under this cost of capital, it is one of the important determinants which affect the capital budgeting, capital structure and the value of the firm. So it helps to evaluate the financial performance of a particular company. And importance to other financial decision, apart from this above 3 points, the cost of capital is also used in some other area such as market value of share, earning capacity of securities, etc. So it plays a major role in financial management. Now, overview of computational of cost of capital. The major sources of finance are debt, preference share, equity share and return earning. So the cost of specific sources would be the cost of debt, cost of preference share, cost of equity share and cost of return earning. And when we talk about overall, then here we use weighted average cost of capital. While calculating cost of capital, here we have some assumption. The assumption is the cost can be either explicit or implicit. Explicit means it is the rate that the firm pay to procure financing, or implicit means it is the rate of return associated with the best investment opportunity for the firm and its shareholder that will be foregone, that is opportunity cost. It means explicit cost, it is connected with arrangement of financing, and implicit means it is the connection with opportunity cost. So if the project presently under consideration by the firm were accepted. The second one, the financial and business risk are not affected by investment in new investment proposal. This is the second assumption. The next, the firm capital structure remain unchanged. Here we assume the capital structure, it is unchanged. Next one, cost of each sources of capital, it is determined on after tax basis. And last, cost of previously obtained capital are not relevant for computing the cost of capital to be raised from a specific sources. These are the assumptions. Now, let's we understand one by one. Cost of debt capital. The cost of debt capital may be in the form of debenture, bond, term loan from financial institutions and bank, etc. It may be raised at par, at premium or at discount. So the cost of debt is the rate of return expected by the lenders. It is the interest rate specified at the time of issue. The debt may be redeemable debt or irredeemable debt. Therefore, the cost of debt can be defined in the term of required rate of return that the debt finance investment must yield to prevent damage to the shareholder position. Since the interest charges are allowed for the tax purpose and the effective cost of capital would always be the after tax cost of debt. Here we have two parts, redeemable debenture or irredeemable debenture. Now, for calculation regarding redeemable debenture, here we use one formula KD. KD means cost of debt capital is equal to R plus MV minus NP divided by N whole divided by MV plus NP divided by 2 and multiply 100 1 minus T. When we use 1 minus T, it is after tax. Under this, MV means maturity value of debt, and for regarding NP, it is net proceeds. Here we use one small n, the number of year to maturity period, and R, it is the annual interest payment. When we calculate irredeemable preference share, here we use one small formula, interest divided by net proceeds, then 1 minus T. This is all about cost of debt capital. The next one, cost of preference share capital. The preference share capital, it is enjoy preferential right as regard to payment of dividend and return share capital. So the preference share may be redeemable or irredeemable preference share. The cost of preference share capital, it is calculated on the basis of dividend, and dividend is not allowed for the taxation purpose. So here we require cost of preference share before tax. Again, here preference share capital calculating cost, we have two parts, redeemable preference share or irredeemable preference share. But here one change is, according to Company Act Amendment 1996, issue of irredeemable preference share has been abolished. So, in practice only redeemable preference share are issued. Such type of share are redeemed at maturity date, either at par, at premium or at discount. So, the cost of capital is computed in the same way as in case of redeemable debenture. Only here we change the one word D. D means dividend. The formula for regarding calculation of cost of preference share capital, KP, here we use before tax, is equal to D plus MV minus NP divided by N, then whole divided by MV plus NP divided by 2, then multiply 100. Here we don't use 1 minus T. If we use 1 minus T, then it is after tax, but here we require before tax, so here we don't use 1 minus t. Under this MV, NP, N or D it is same. Here D means annual dividend payment. Then for calculation of irredeemable preference share, here we use one formula, Kp is equal to D divided by Np multiply 100. Here D means annual dividend amount. This is all about preference share capital. Now after that, cost of equity share capital. For regarding cost of equity share capital, here we denote one small word KE. The equity shareholder, it is the owner of the company. So the computation of cost of equity share capital become difficult because the dividend rate, it is not predetermined. It is determined in annual general meeting. So the cost of equity capital may be determined as the minimum rate of return that a firm must earn on equity finance. The cost of equity capital can be computed through different methods. One is dividend yield method, dividend yield plus growth rate method, or earning yield method. The first one, dividend yield method. When we calculate cost of equity share capital according to dividend yield method, here we use the formula KE is equal to DPS divided by NP or MP multiply 100. Here DPS means dividend per share. If we use NP, NP means net proceeds. Or according to information, if we use MP, MP means market price. Here the market price we can calculate by using one another formula. The market price is equal to dividend per share divided by KE. KE means cost of equity share capital. If we have the value of cost of equity share capital and dividend per share, then we can calculate market price. Now the second method, dividend yield plus growth rate. Under this, the whole thing is same. Here we add just G. The formula is same, DPS divided by NP multiply 100, plus here we just add G. G means growth rate. Here we assume what is the growth rate percentage. Now the last method under this, earning yield method. Under earning yield method, for calculation according this, we use formula EPS divided by market price multiply 100. EPS means earning per share, MP means it is same market price per share. Through using this formula, we can calculate cost of equity share capital. Now, after that, the next, cost of retained earning. The retained earning are the fund accumulated by a company over a period by keeping part of profit without distributing. So this is major sources of finance mostly used for expansion or diversification program. So the cost of retained earning is an opportunity cost to be measured in the terms of income foregone by the shareholder that they could have earned by investing the dividend foregone in some alternative investment. If we distributed this dividend to shareholder in the form of dividend, then the shareholder invest money in the market, then they will earn some money. Here we assume this opportunity cost. So the cost of retained earning is equal to the cost of equity. Here, to the extent of personal tax rate and floating cost, the cost of retained earning will be cheaper. Thus, as per opportunity cost approach, the KR means cost of return earning. It is calculated by using this formula. KR is equal to KE 1 minus F 1 minus T, or we can use one another formula, DPS 1 minus F 1 minus T divided by MP multiply 100. According to information, we can use out of this formula. Under this, F means it is floating cost, T means personal tax rate, and MP it is same market price. Here KE cost of equity capital, and for regarding DPS it is dividend per share. This is all about retained earning. Now after that, when we taking all the different sources of finance, means cost of debt capital, cost of equity share capital, cost of preference share capital, cost of return earning. If we taking this all four, it means weighted average cost of capital. Here we can say as a overall cost of capital. For calculation of overall cost of capital, here we use one formula, summation XW divided by summation W multiply 100. Here KW means the weighted average cost of capital. Here X means cost of specific sources of finance. W means it is weight proportion of specific sources of finance. Now for this, here we take one example. A company has on its books the following amount and specific cost of each type of capital. We have book value or market value or specific cost regarding all sources of cost of capital. According to this, determine the weighted average cost of capital by using book value weight or market value weight. And how are they different? Can you think of a situation where the weighted average cost of capital would be the same using either of weight? Now let's start. Solution. The first table, it is for weighted average cost of capital using book value weight, and second table it is weighted average cost of capital using market value weight. In first table, first you mention sources of finance, all sources, debt, preference share, equity share, return earning. Then you mention book value. Then you mention specific cost of, here you mention in percentage. It means you have 5%, 5 divided by 100, that is 0.05. You have 8%, 8 divided by 100, that is 0.08. In this sequence you mention specific cost and then multiply of those column, book value and specific cost. Then we have weighted average cost of capital. Our overall weighted average cost of capital, it is 1,44,000. Then this value we put in formula, summation WX divided by summation W. It is 1,44,000 divided by 13 lakh multiply 100. This overall cost of capital, it is 11.08. As it is same sequence, you can determine average cost of capital by using market value weight. Here you use market value and then find overall cost of capital. This overall cost of capital, it is 11.94%. Okay, this is all about this lecture. Thank you.